The Vetterli rifle was introduced with the Battlefield 1 Tsar DLC in September, and alongside the Mosin Nagant rifle, which is perhaps the highlight of the weapons added, at least from a marketing perspective, I think this weapon got a little bit left out. It actually represents a really interesting weapon in Battlefield 1 now, and it might almost be a direct upgrade to one of the most fun weapons that you can use in Battlefield 1, the Martini-Henry. The Martini is still probably my favourite long rifle to use in Battlefield 1 at the moment, purely because of its odd characteristics, but there's no denying it's hard to justify choosing it over other rifles at times. Now we have a second variant of the Martini, the Sniper, that was introduced back in April or May, I think, and it offers you a high-powered scope for longer range accuracy rather than using the iron sights of the original variant. But it has a few stats that tell you using the scoped variant isn't such a great idea. A slow bullet velocity at just 400 meters a second means you have to lead your shots quite considerably. Its breech loading mechanism means you can fire just one bullet before you have to reload. And of course, its close range sweet spot starting at around 40 meters and extending to 80 meters, where shots to the torso do more than 100 damage to account for shots that might pass through an arm. You don't need a sniper scope to hit the torso between 40 and 80 meters. You should easily be able to do that with the iron sights. So in truth, the sniper scope variant is more of a hindrance than it is a help. It's those three exact reasons not to use the sniper variant, however, that are the same three reasons why I love to use the Martini-Henry with just its iron sights. Leading targets at range and landing shots is extremely satisfying. Having to reload after each shot makes each shot more important, and having that close range sweet spot makes it a perfect rifle for some of the more chaotic environments. But what if you could improve the Martini? What would you change? If it were me, I'd bump the ammo count a bit and allow for some quicker follow-up shots. And it seems that's exactly what DICE has done in giving us the Vetterli rifle. The Vetterli comes in two variants in Battlefield 1. We have the infantry and the carbine. The infantry mimics the Martini with its purely untouched design, coming with stock iron sights, whereas the carbine adds a set of optical sights to give slightly better visibility of your targets at long range. More importantly, however, the Vetterli variants feature 4-round internal magazines and are fed into the weapon barrel via a bolt-action system, as opposed to the breech-loading system seen on the Martini, which, as I said, can only hold one bullet. This means a simple rechamber animation needs to happen after each shot in the magazine is used, as opposed to the Martini's full unload of the empty shell and the reload of a brand new round. This makes a huge difference in the effective ranges of both of these rifles because, as I'll now show you on a graph, both of these rifles are geared towards mid to close range shooting. Now this table, and in fact all of the stats I reference in this video, come from Synthic.com, so a massive thanks to those guys there for their hard work in extracting and presenting all of these stats. But this graph shows the damage both the Martini and the Vetterli rifles do over distance as the bullet flies. You can see the Martini in orange and then both Vetterli variants in a green-yellow underneath. This shows that the Vetterli reaches its 100 maximum damage earlier than the Martini at just 20 meters, and then starts to drop off at around 50 meters. The Martini reaches its maximum damage of 112 at about 42 meters, and then drops back under 100 at roughly 80 meters. But it hits 100 damage at 30 meters, so that extra 12 damage, as I mentioned earlier, puts in no doubt that you're going to get a kill. Both of these rifles then are almost perfect for close quarters action. However, the Vetterli bests the Martini in rate of fire, magazine size obviously, and recoil after firing, essentially making it a far more viable option if you're going to go into battle with the intention of competing with other players of other classes at close range. It reaches its max damage sooner than the Martini, which is perhaps the pivotal point here, and it makes me want to recommend the Vetterli as the weapon that you should be using as your close range long rifle. But I can't recommend it. Well, technically I can recommend it, because it is the better option, and if you're looking at it from a purely statistical standpoint, then clearly it is a straight upgrade over the Martini. But when you bring in your own personal taste into the equation, I just can't admit that the Vetterli feels better to use, because in my opinion, it doesn't feel better to use. It's conventional, and it follows the same standard formula of other long rifles in Battlefield 1, whereas the Martini-Henry doesn't do that. And that's what keeps it special for me. The Martini gives a feeling that no other rifle can in this game. It is truly a skill weapon. There's nothing like picking off a player and another player just using your iron sights, having to use cover and keep yourself safe whilst going through countless reloads, and then again pulling off shots at long range, leading your targets. And the sound as well. The sound of like a cannon coming out the end of your rifle. No other long rifle even comes close in Battlefield 1. I mean, the Lebel sounds like a good rifle to use, and it does make a really nice sound, but it's nothing like the Martini. So while a brand new weapon has come along and essentially taken its place as the weapon that you should be using in close quarters as a scout, I'm not going to be changing my loadout slot from Martini to Vetterli anytime soon. This thing is staying put. But of course, that's just my opinion, and I'm pretty sure it's different to a lot of other people who are watching this video right now. So maybe let me know down in the comments section which of the rifles in Battlefield 1 is your favourite to use, or which ones are best to use for you in certain situations. And I might do a video in the future covering off what you guys think is the best. Doesn't have to be statistically the best, it's just what you personally find the best weapon to use. Thank you very much for watching again, and make sure you do leave a comment. But until next time, my name is Westie, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.